Hello and welcome back. We've just got the double-ended diesel running around the railway again. I know we saw this last week. We'll have a look at some Dublo in a minute. Been having a fiddle with that this week. Just let that run through there. And then we'll catch it next time around and bring it to a stop. Let's come up a little bit higher. Makes a tremendous noise. And looking at the controls, going to grab hold of the right one this time. There we go. So we're not on the handheld there. I was just trying to remember to grab hold of the right one. So I'm just going to close that into there just in case we want to play with that at a later date. There we go. So we've got some Dublo. So I think we've got the diesel there. We're going to change the coaches on there for these brick wagons in a moment. But I've also brought the mallard out the engine shed. It's been hiding in the engine shed for a moment. There's those brick wagons, really tin plate, really quite nice things. Also make a tremendous racket on the railway. So I got my mallard out, the Hornby Dublo version. So it's sitting in there, very, very played with, play worn, I suppose is the word we're looking for. When I showed it before, the paintwork had all chipped off there, so I've just touched that in a little bit with a black marker just to see how it looks. It'll just rub straight off with some spirit, and the whistle in this one is a replacement. Let's just take that in a bit tighter so we can see a little bit more. So that's one just standing in until I can come up with a Dublo one. That's a Tri-ang one. I can't remember what it's off, but I had it as a spare. So, and I had another handful of these coaches. I didn't realise I had a full rake of them as spares. They took a little bit of fiddling with to get the couplings to run. Some of the coaches had quite a sort of twist down the length. When David Atkins was visiting me a couple of years back, so now we were looking at some of these coaches when I just got the three rail down, and I was having trouble with them derailing, and he'd picked up that it's like down the length you get getting a twist in them. So I sort of got quite bold with them and gave them a good twist down their length, and that sort of solves the problem. So I suspect when they've been played with over the years and somebody's sort of sat on them or stood on them, whatever, I'm just looking over my shoulder here for the correct controls here. So let's give this some power and see if we can get this to run around. Lovely sounds on there. That's going to run through the station here. We'll stay above it as it runs out at the other end of the station and behind the engine shed. And just remember to turn the controls the correct direction. I've turned the controls a little bit too much. I'm just going to let that run again. Let's go in a little bit tighter. Sorry, I was tight. That's running too quickly now. So I think I was commenting before saying how they're quite different in sort of response to the controller. Certainly very different to the Tri-ang. There we go. So I also noticed my battery has gone red. So that means I've got limited time. So we can always put a new battery in. But let's give this a little power over here. I'll grab the controls. We just need to run this around to the other side here. Got traction tyres on here. Again, different feel again to the other type of locomotive just running. So I'm just going to bring this beyond points number 1, which is hiding under the elevated track here. Yeah, I think we're far enough through there. Let's just roll down here. We'll just make this one curved. Now ideally we'll back that through. Let me just check the points. Yeah, number 6. We're going to come through number 6 here. We're going to leave those coaches on this line here. So let's just pan back around to there. Let's get that onto the straight. You can hear the motor struggling to push that around the curve there. I'm going to go a bit wider on this now, so we can have a bit more of a look at what's going on. I'll just take that down there, and I'm just going to uncouple this by hand, and then we'll roll this forward again. So we want to change number 6. So I'm just going to swap hands with the camera. We'll just go for number 6. So we want to go curved with that one. And then we'll grab the controls. Let's look this direction. Have we got them? I think we have. I don't think I knocked them off on the way in there. So we'll drag those out onto the line. There we go. So not only am I going to just change the point, let's see if I can go in a bit tighter. I'm going to take the opportunity to change the battery in this camera. I hadn't realized it was quite so low when I picked this up. Fresh battery. So we'll get that underway. Let's just see if that settles down nicely, and we'll get the mallard running as well. This looks better if we come above, I think, here. I'm just going to pop the controls down. So it seems to be settling in quite nicely. Yeah, I think we're good, safe to get the mallard underway now as well. Let's just give that a go. We'll wait till it comes around. Actually, no, I'm not thinking this through. I want to try and move that away at the same time. So we'll just go around again. Because the mallard's not on the handheld, so I'm just going to try and reach behind it and remember to turn the controls in the correct direction. Makes a lovely sound. There's quite a swish coming from those brick wagons. Tearing through there. Well, quite pleased with that, and everything's stayed together. It's all looking good, so we're just having just a bit of a play with them. See if I can alter the focal length a little bit. I'm just going to take a little bit of power out of that. Let's come in again. Definitely big smile time, I think. So I still have this yard switcher here with these great looking wagons on the back, so I think perhaps we'll give that a go. I'm just going to take a little bit of power off the diesel. I think it's just beginning to gather a little bit too much there. That feels better. Let's see if we can get this Transcontinental train underway. Apparently not going to run. Let's have a look what we've got here. So something not playing there. We'll investigate that in a moment. Let's have a look. We'll come back to that. I'm just checking the points. Yeah, we've got the points good there. I know exactly why that's not moving. I'm being a complete idiot here. I keep moving that control there, and it's on this one. I thought I'd left everything set right. There we go. It is very much a concentration thing. I know I keep saying it, but I don't think it's a natural thing to do, to be controlling 2 or 3 lines together and keeping track of everything. And then when you're trying to remember what you're doing with the camera and keeping an eye on things over your shoulder. Talking of over my shoulder, let's have a look. Diesel coming round the far side there. TC train coming in here. Whoops. Let's just drop in above that. All looking quite good. I'm going to just pan back around here. We've got the mallard coming through there. And I think what we'll do, we'll grab hold of the mallard next time around. We'll swap it for the Duchess. Or the freight. We'll swap it for the freight. So we've got those cable drums there. Tyneside Cable Company. So let's prepare to do that. And that's all looking quite good there. There comes the mallard there. Yeah, so I think next time we'll get some other TC wagons out on the Tri-ang side, and give me the chance to get them prepared. I should have time in the coming week to try and prepare a few more things. So there we go. We just now need to switch a couple more points over here. So I want number 2 straight and then number 5 straight. So we should get the freight locomotive here. See if my prediction's right, so we'll give that some power. There we go. Because of the sound in the room, I can't actually hear whether it's actually running. So I'm unaware of the sound this freight locomotive's made because of the sound of that TC locomotive, I think. There we go. Coming through there quite nicely. That certainly adds a bit of extra colour, doesn't it? Yeah, so that's going to run between the station and the elevated section. Let's see if we can follow that through there. Yeah, it's beginning to warm up a bit. Let's just stop that there, and I'm going to change the route that comes to the station so it runs on the other side. So I want number 10 go straight there. And then I want number 18 over here. Just hiding under there, we want to go straight with that one. So shall we stop the TC train and just see what difference that makes to the overall sound in the room? Well, maybe it's the brick train making all the noise. Anyway, all good fun. So I'm just going to pop these controls down here and then let's see what we're up to. So we've stopped the freight train over here. We'll give some power to this one. We'll just let that trundle around. Well, I think that's probably it for this time. I know we haven't had anything sort of new to look at, but I haven't had time to prepare any of the TC items. But I think over the next week I'll definitely have time to do so. So we'll get some of those items made up and we'll see if we can make another interesting train to run on the 2-rail. But thanks again for looking in, it's hugely appreciated. And thank you for continuing to comment as well. So it's always good to read over the comments, and I'll try and reply to as many as I can, but I can't always get all of them. But thanks again. Goodbye now.